Jamie Foxx playing?
Yeah,
he's
already been
back.
confirmed.
Well,
Yeah,
he confirmed it on his Instagram, and then almost immediately pulled it off and was like, "Nope, never mind."
Which
means,
yeah.
whoopsie.
And then
He
he
wasn't supposed
did
to post that.
just recently. He came back and said he was like, "That version of Electro's not coming back," and I didn't know that the last time we talked, even though it had already happened. I didn't know that yet. And when I saw the yellow lightning this time, I was like, "Yes, what we're saying is true. Electro is back." But it's not Blue Lightning, which already confirms that they're changing him. So we're going to get a different, hopefully better version.
different Jamie Foxx.
Because Jamie Foxx is a great actor, but that sucked. Mm-hmm. That Electro was trash.
This is gonna be the same Electro, but better. Hopefully.
I think it's going to have a similar suit to the Electro in the Spider-Man game.
okay.
I hope so.
Because the Vulture suit in the Spider-Man game is very reminiscent of the Vulture suit from Spider-Man Homecoming.
Because as much as me and you would love to see the yellow lightning in
Yeah,
a
that's
way,
not gonna happen.
it
Yeah,
doesn't-
that's never going to happen.
We're beyond that with comic book movies. He might have like some goggles or something that have like an homage, like yellow thing over his head or something.
Or there's nothing there, but when
Or
he's
there's
full
nothing.
power, maybe we see yellow sparks
From his
that
eyes.
gives
Yeah, that'd be good.
like they could give an homage to the classic, but they're not going to give us the classic straight up.
And I don't want them
They'll probably give you a throwback like they did in Loki. Remember? They gave us the OG.
Oh, yeah.
The OG Loki. So I was like, that's kind of
Which
cool.
I love. Yeah. Like when I collect action figures, I want the OG look or the best look that looks like it's from a comic. I don't collect like the movie version of something. I like the comic look. I don't want it to look too much like a real human being. I want it to look like it was pulled out of a comic book page. But in a movie, I want it to look like it's supposed to be
I like it when they give you those little nods like back to the OG, like in Ragnarok when Thor's fighting Hulk. And
So
he pulls
good.
the hammer down and it gives you the wings.
So good.
I mean, not hammer, but the helmet down and it gives you the wings. It's like,
It's perfect. Yeah.
And that's all you needed because it's not like he's not like putting on the actual helmet with the wings. It's like this is like a little nod, like hey,
Yeah.
I've talked to Bryton about this before. Like, I'm glad that Vulture didn't have feathers. He had a mech suit.
Yeah.
I'm glad that Falcon doesn't have red feathers. He has a mech suit.
He doesn't have a telepathic bird. He has a drone.
Exactly. Like, those things just make real life sense. But we're also in a world of fantasy where, like, Spider-Man can lift a building. So if a teenage boy can lift a building, we're in a fantasy world here. So I don't want to see, we brought this up last time, Rhino. I don't want to see Paul Giamatti in a mech suit. That's just
I want to see
cheap.
Paul Giamatti like Juggernaut in Deadpool 2.
Exactly. He needs to be a big,
Because that Juggernaut was way
muscular
better.
guy.
That was another reference I'd made earlier when I was talking about, because the Rhino from the Spider-Man game is fucking perfect.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
It looks mech techy,
But he still looks like
But
a
he's still-
huge
He's still
guy.
a big
Yep.
dude. He's not just
Yeah.
a
that's the right
smaller
way
dude.
to change it. Because why have Rhino
Leather,
rawhide
yeah.
on you?
Yeah, that's
like
dumb.
that makes no fucking sense.
That's-
It's cool in the comics, but why?
They should put the original Rhino comic book character in there and just texturize it so it looks real.
Oh God.
Just a potato with a horn.
I don't mind when they advance it for real life. Like, nobody needs to be a 600-looking pound dude of muscle and wearing a rhino hide.
Half the
But
should play.
but it also doesn't need
That's
to be
why.
a
That's why I
nerdy-
liked Bane in Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah.
I like that better than just some like juiced up dude that like didn't make sense.
Because
Well-
in that universe, nobody would have looked juiced up like that. In the MCU, you could actually pull it off through storytelling because they do that.
Yep.
So
Like Croc and all them.
the example would be that in The Dark Knight Rises, they just gave a buff-looking dude that is taking in some type of what is he breathing? Some chemical that's making him.
We'll just call it
he doesn't feel
steroids.
pain.
Oh, I
Take it
thought he
easy.
was.
Yeah.
I thought
He's
that was just
jacked up.
helping him breathe because his
No,
mouth was
he doesn't
fucked up
feel
or something.
pain because of it.
Oh.
Like he's like, ugh.
Yeah.
It's almost like a steroid.
It's basically like Vader's suit.
It's toxin. It's a type of chemical that he pumps into his body to basically.
That's
and
in
that's
the
why
comics. Yeah, I
in
didn't
the
know if they ever
comics,
said that.
in the comics, that's one of the reasons why I kind of don't like the Bane from the Dark Knight Rises, because they allude to this fact. But the whole point is like the reason he takes it is because it's like a jacked form of steroids where it.
I wish he was
makes
bigger.
him. It makes him a little bit more ripped than the regular human being. He normally has like literal like hoses running
Yeah.
down his
Yeah.
body.
I wish they went
so
closer.
It avoids. It basically makes him an unstoppable, unmovable truck.
Yeah.
Because that's why when he fights like Batman and stuff, he gets the shit beat out of him, and he's still like, nope, don't feel a fucking thing.
But
Because
it wouldn't have fit Christopher Nolan's storyline
Yeah.
if they had went all the way. I wish they went halfway. I wish
Yeah.
they would have made.
Tom Hardy did a good job.
There's
getting-
only
Yes.
so many
Yeah.
steroids Tom Hardy can take.
Exactly.
to get as big as he did.
He got
glad
he
they
got
kept-
jacked. He looked good, and he kind of fit the part where it's like
Yeah.
you see someone that muscular, it's taking something. You know he's gonna be able to dish out some
Didn't they
punches.
have
But
to
if
like
somebody
redo
were-
some of his lines because
They had to redo all of his.
They had to
lines.
redo all of
Like,
it.
nobody can
I remember the first time when I saw the movie and hear him on the plane, he's like,
You saw one of the original releases.
yeah, and I was like, what the
you
fuck
couldn't
is
hear
he
it.
saying?
Within days, they had it replaced.
Yeah.
Like, they
Really?
were quick on
You-
it.
do you not remember that? I went and saw
When the
opening
movie-
night.
you
Opening
couldn't-
night, he's on the plane. He's like,
You didn't understand anything being said.
Yeah, no, I didn't see it until it was like
Yeah.
on a
They had to
DVD.
replace it.
dude, you're literally just. I remember I was sitting there in the movie theater like, the fuck is he saying?
You couldn't understand anything.
About halfway through the movie, you started catching. I guess because you're used to hearing him
You
talk.
acclimated.
But that whole opening scene when he's on the plane, where it's like perhaps he's wondering why he would shoot a man before throwing him off a plane. All you hear is,
which
You're like,
again,
Which Christopher Nolan was sitting around and was like, yeah, this sounds good.
Yeah, so-
Which blows
remember-
my mind because he's a phenomenal filmmaker.
that's what I was
But
gonna say.
they
Remember,
sat through that.
somebody approved that. Just
Everybody
remember
approved
that.
but
It
that's
sounds
also
good, guys. You
that's
think they can
also
understand?
accurate.
Yeah, they can understand. Are you sure? He's like, yeah.
that's also super accurate though because that's how it was.
That's how it was in the comic
in the-
books. You couldn't hear
Yeah,
anything.
But you're reading it.
You couldn't hear him at all in the comic books, man.
You couldn't hear-
shit. You had to read.
Once
But
you
it-
get
dude,
to
it was so
once you get
bad,
to
though.
animated series, like the history of Bane through like animated series as well, he's always that like really like high pitched, like hard to hear.
He tried to be accurate, and he went too far.
Oh, but it was
That's
so
all I'm
wonderful. I loved it. I thought it was a phenomenal,
You
horrible
never heard
thing.
the original.
Yes, I did.
Oh.
Okay, yeah, dude, the original was.
I love
Don't
the
tell
original.
Bryton what he's
If you
he's
can't-
seen.
We
If
had
you
the
can-
conversation, and I thought he told me that he had.
No,
I thought I had the conversation with you. and
I'm
you
just saying,
didn't.
if you can look up the original
Yeah.
audio from that, and you're gonna be like, what the fuck?
Somebody made YouTube comparisons where it's like scene by scene.
You're
We
literally
hear
gonna
both.
question everyone's decision. Like it's like when you see a movie like my favorite's like Lord of the Rings when they have like a mess up. It's when Aemir in Two Towers, Aemir gets on his horse, and when the camera is literally saying this is like where his belt is holding the sword, camera's right here, and his sword falls out, and they're just like, we're good, done.
That was the take, guys. All right, cool.
You're like, but my sword's on the ground. Nope, we're good. Good shot. But the sword, they won't see it. We'll clear it in post. In post. I think it's fine.
But
Send it.
a good breakdown of what the different universes do. Christopher Nolan made it fit into a real world scenario, and he pulled it off perfectly. Even though The Dark Knight Rises is up and down, in my opinion, The Dark Knight is a perfect movie. The Dark Knight Rises ups and downs, but
Yeah.
it was still good overall. It's just like when you follow that up, you're gonna see
Anytime you're following up a movie
Yeah.
that was so good,
perfect.
it's
It's perfect. But so they didn't make it perfect the next time, but it was a good movie, and Bane was well done. If Bane existed in the MCU, I believe that he would have been really jacked up, and they would have convinced you that it was completely fine to pull it off comic book accurate.
It's Asgardian technology.
They would have done something, yeah.
Yeah.
Or an Infinity Stone gave energy to this, and somebody made a chemical based off from a stone, and then it got injected into him. And now he
Speaking of
needs,
stones, remember Loki? All the stones.
yeah,
Hey, they use them for
It'd
it'd probably be
paperweights.
end up a variation of the super soldier serum that instead
It's-
of
yes,
that you have to
that's
constantly
exactly.
take
Yep.
versus.
Yep.
Oh, do you see everybody?
I like how we're
complaining?
talking about this as if it was. We're like, but what if Bane was
It's-
in the
it's fun.
MCU?
We
It's
should
fun,
be
though.
hired. That's the.
Hey, hope you enjoyed that clip. Full episodes of the Small Stuff Podcast are available on YouTube and wherever it is you get your podcasts. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, all the things, links in the description. We'll see you later.